Welcome! If you've ever felt like you had to be the strong one, the one who held it all together, even when something inside you was slowly unraveling, then this story is for the part of you that's tired of carrying it all. So go ahead and subscribe now, because this channel is your quiet place to finally let go. And remember that real strength begins with softness. Let's take a breath, and as you gently exhale, let's begin. The Rock That Broke Open, a hypnotic story of strength through vulnerability and emotional resilience. His name was Nathan, and for most of his life, he had been the rock, the steady one, the dependable one, the one who didn't flinch. "You're so strong," they'd say. "You never let anything get to you." And Nathan would nod, maybe even smile, while something deep in his chest pulled tighter. Because no one ever asked if the rock was tired. He had learned early that showing emotion made people uncomfortable, that crying made others worry, that softness made him vulnerable, and vulnerability, he believed, was dangerous. So he mastered the art of keeping it all in, of nodding instead of asking for help, of saying, "I'm fine," when he was anything but. He became the friend who always showed up, the partner who never asked for more, the employee who never said no. And inside, a silent pressure, a slow ache, a quiet erosion beneath the surface. It wasn't until the retreat that things began to change. Nathan hadn't planned on going. His therapist had suggested it, and emotional resilience weakened. And at first the idea made him uncomfortable. What would he say? What would he have to say? But something in him, some quiet inner whisper, knew it was time. So he went. The retreat center was nestled in the woods. Pine trees leaned in protectively from all sides, and the air smelled like moss and rain. There were 12 participants, circle of chairs, wool blankets, gentle music playing in the background. And leading it all was a man named Leo. Leo wasn't like what Nathan expected. He didn't posture. He didn't perform. He was calm in a way that didn't seem to need anything. And when Leo spoke, it was like the room exhaled. "I used to think being a man meant never needing anyone," he said. "But then life cracked me open, and I discovered the heart can hold so much more than we're taught to believe." Nathan didn't realize he had been holding his breath until that moment. The first day passed in cautious silence. Small exercises, short introductions, nothing too revealing. But that night in his cabin, Nathan sat by the fireplace, and something in him started to tremble. He didn't cry, not yet, but he felt something rising. Not pain exactly, more like pressure. Old words swallowed, old needs ignored. He didn't know what to do with it, so he wrote. He wrote a single line in his notebook. "I don't know how to be soft." The second day, Leo led a session called The Mask and the Mirror. Each person was asked to write 2 truths. 1, the version of themselves they showed the world. 2, the version they hide. Nathan hesitated. Then he wrote, "Mask. I'm strong. I've got it all handled. I don't need anything. Mirror. I'm scared no one will stay if I fall apart." And when it was his turn to read, his voice caught in his throat. He looked up, expecting judgment, but all he saw were nods, tears in a few eyes, a deep, unraveling silence that said, "Me too." And something cracked. That night it happened. He stepped outside alone, sky thick with stars, pine needles beneath his boots. He sat on a log, looked up at the vast, indifferent sky, and whispered, "I'm so tired of pretending." He said it like a prayer, like an offering, like a surrender. And then the tears came. Not loud, not dramatic, just honest. Salt trails on wind-chilled cheeks, heavy sobs that felt like the earth shaking inside him. Grief not just for the moment, but for all the moments before he hadn't let himself feel. He cried for the boy who learned to hold it all in, for the teenager who never told anyone how lost he felt, for the man who held the world but not himself. And when the sobs slowed, he felt something he hadn't in years. Relief. Not weakness, not collapse, but freedom. The next morning, Leo met him at the breakfast table. He didn't say much, just poured him a cup of coffee and said softly, "You broke open and let the light in." Nathan smiled through red eyes, because he felt it too. That something had changed. Not the world, not the responsibilities, but him. He no longer felt like he had to carry it all. He didn't need to be the stone, because now he understood that true strength isn't about never breaking. It's about knowing you can and choosing to open instead. So, if you ever felt like you had to keep it all together all the time, if you had to be the quiet, strong one in every room, maybe this is your moment to soften, to let something fall, to let the mask slip and the truth rise. Because you weren't made to be a rock. You were made to be whole. And every time you let truth be felt, you build a strength that no one can take from you. So now, as the story settles quietly inside you, like water finally finding its stillness, you might begin to notice something. A part of you is already exhaling. Because when a story touches you deeply, something inside begins to loosen. Not because it's fallen apart, but because it's finally safe to stop holding so much together. So go ahead and find a comfortable position, one that allows you to relax in the way you rarely give yourself permission to. And as you settle in, eyes softening, breath slowing, perhaps a small part of you knows that this moment is just for you. Not the version of you that carries everything, not the mask, not the role, just you. The one beneath all of that, the one who longs to rest, to soften, to be held, not by anyone else, but by the gentle rhythm of your own breath. That's right. Take a breath in now and let it go slowly. And again, in and exhale. And with every out-breath, feel your shoulders ease just a little more. Feel the muscles in your jaw soften. Let your hands be empty. Let your chest be open. And if any part of you still feels like it needs to stay strong, just for a little while longer, you might thank it now. Not because that part has worked so hard. That part has carried so much. And now, it can finally rest. Not disappear. Not vanish. Just pause. So you can come home to yourself. And as you continue to breathe, you might begin to imagine a rock. Solid, strong, worn by time. It sits alone in a quiet forest clearing. Sunlight dances across its surface. Rain has kissed it. Wind has whispered across its edges. And though it looks unmovable, you might notice something beautiful. There, a crack. Small, gentle. Not a sign of weakness, but a sign of life. Because from that crack, something green is growing. Something soft. Something alive. A tiny fern pushing gently through the stone. And somehow, that image feels familiar. Because perhaps you are like that rock. And maybe, just maybe, the places in you that cracked are where life began again. So let's follow that green thread now, deep inside yourself. Each breath in guides you deeper inward. Each breath out helps you release more of what no longer needs to be held. And as you drift gently now, you begin to notice the space inside you where the pressure used to live, the place that held the emotions you didn't need to know how to name, the place that carried others, even when you had nothing left for yourself. And now, as you meet that place again, you might whisper to it, "It's okay to rest. It's okay to let go. It's okay to be seen, even here." And that place begins to soften, not because it's fragile, but because it's ready. ready to feel, ready to breathe, ready to stop surviving and start living. And if there are tears, that's okay too. Tears are truth made visible. Tears are pressure turning into peace. Tears are what happened when a heart finally feels safe to open. And every emotion that comes now, every ripple, every wave, is a part of the healing. There is nothing to resist, nothing to fix, only this: presence, permission, peace. And now, as you rest even deeper, you might begin to feel the edges of your heart, not like a wall, not like armor, but like a door. And that door can open just a little or a lot. There's no need to force it. Just allow. Allow yourself to be held in the quiet where no performance is needed. No mask, no strength, only softness and the truth of who you are. Because you, exactly as you are enough. So let this moment be the medicine. Let this breath be the release. Let this stillness be the strength you've been searching for. And as you float now in the quiet rhythm of your own presence, you might begin to sense something new. A knowing, a remembering, a trust. That strength is not how tightly you hold, but in how fully you allow. And you are allowed to soften now, to rest, to breathe, to return. And if your body needs sleep, let it come. Let your body drift where it needs. Let the sounds around you fade. Let your nervous system unwind like a spool finally set down. Let dreams carry what words cannot. And if you're coming back, simply begin to return now. Wiggle your fingers. Move gently, feeling your breath deepen again, carrying with you the softness, the insight, the knowing that you don't need to be rock anymore. You only need to be real. So here are the key meanings of the story. Number 1, strength isn't what we're taught. The story redefines strength not as stoicism, silence, or suppression, but as a capacity to feel, to be seen, and to stay present through emotion. Message: true strength is being with what's real, not bracing against it. Number 2, vulnerability as gateway, not threat.
The crack in the rock represents the moment of openness, not collapse. Just like kintsugi, the art of mending broken pottery with gold, this shows that brokenness can be the beginning of beauty. Message: vulnerability doesn't weaken you. It reveals your humanity. Number 3. Emotional holding patterns begin early. Nathan became the rock because of early conditioning around emotion and masculinity. This reflects how many people learn that safety equals suppressing feelings. Message: you're allowed to unlearn survival patterns that no longer serve you. Number 4. Presence heals what performance cannot. Leo provides a non-judgmental presence, which allows Nathan to soften. The healing doesn't come through advice, but through being seen without being fixed. Message: sometimes what we need most is not being helped, but being held in presence. Number 5. The body remembers what the mind avoids. Tears, tightness, breath. These somatic cues show how much the body holds on to. The story reminds us that healing is not just mental, it's deeply embodied. Message: emotional release is a physical process, and honoring it reconnects us to ourselves. Number 6. Identity without the mask. I don't know who I am when I'm not helping someone reveals that existential fear underneath people-pleasing and emotional overfunctioning. Message: when you stop being what others need, you meet who you really are. Number 7. Grief for the unfelt past. When Nathan cries, he's grieving not just the moment, but the lifetime of suppression. This introduces the idea of delayed grief, common in those who have stayed strong too long. Message: you're allowed to grieve not just loss, but the part of yourself abandoned to survive. Number 8. Emotional safety allows repatterning. The hypnotic induction guides the listener toward internal safety, bypassing shame and inviting softness, so the nervous system learns that feeling is no longer a threat. Message: you can rewire your relationship with emotion by meeting it with safety and presence. And so, if this story reached a part of you that needed to feel seen, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because here we don't tell stories just to entertain. We tell them to heal. And if you'd like a personalized hypnotic story written just for you or someone you care about, email me at rhondashypnoticstories@gmail.com, and that's a Rhonda without an H. So until next time, be well.